5S. Okay, from what I recall, and this is going back a couple months, I would think, Potzer knows how to play good and fast. So I need to be equal or better in both of those categories. Let's see. Let us see. Ruy Lopez, Petrov. I did that twice. The Petrov takes. It was interesting. Don't want to enter the Berlin territory. No Berlin walls. I don't want to be dealing with that. Bishop c5 would be getting into the game that I had played against Windmill earlier in the stream, where I think it was close to equal. There was that later f6 move. If you were here for that, excuse me, if you were here for that earlier game, you'll know what I'm referring to. Maybe if you recall that game, but I had an f6 move. But up until then, it was really, really tight. Let's do h6. And I don't know if I want to run with rook e1, knight d2 to f1. I do want to preserve my light square bishop. And let's get more development in. My knight would like to get to where? I'm going to actually run forward with this. So I don't quite know how it's going to pan out. My opponent is preparing to deal with the knight that lands maybe on this square, tucking the bishop back, looking for g6. I should maybe be considering a3, and then maybe an expansion here. There is maybe a downside with an early d4 move. Namely, after takes, the knight can be making use of b4 with tempo. That could be a bit disruptive. So a3 is not necessarily to expand with b4 in as much as to just prevent the knight from making use of the b4 square after I have pressed forward in the center. Again, d4 takes, my pawn takes away, and then this square would be made available. So let's do that now. I am looking at this a bit more closely. Might my opponent just say, you know what, d5, let's go. That's what they might say. In response to that, I don't know what I should be doing. I think I want to maybe get my knight to g3. Or not. Okay, let's go. Let's open it up right now. I have enough coverage for this pawn. Important detail, my bishop and rook are here to watch over it. This rook is in a good spot. My opponent is coordinating their pieces correctly, and with this tension in the center, this is where there should be a lot of time devoted. You know, okay, yes, this is a blitz game, but just assuming that we had a lot more time, these are critical positions where there is pawn tension, and there could be the closing of the position, the opening up of the position in a couple different ways. Although both recaptures would probably translate into this same type of formation. It's likely the case that whether I go like this or this, the d pawn will recapture, and it's the same story. So I wonder if just push is the right way to go about things, and then the attention turns maybe towards the king side. Or actually, no, not just the king side, both wings, because the center is locked, so play would ensue on the wings. So I'm wondering about d5 here. d5. Or, yeah, okay, d5, bishop here, and then queen to d2. Could I get the dark square bishops off the board? Or would that even be a good thing? Let's do this. I think my opponent was looking to chop a few times and then get the bishop at the end of the variation. Something along those lines. So let's see where the bishop wants to reside. They're going there, and to that I say, all right. To that I say, all right. Should I do knight g3? No, I'm going to do b4 to prevent this knight from making use of this square. And now I think I want to do what? What do I want to do next? Do I want to prevent the knight from playing here and getting to this square? That could be a bit annoying. I'm going to do that. And if the knight plays here, I might be playing bishop here next. Okay, now that's not needed. I'm going to keep pressure on this point. So if this knight ever thinks about moving, I could chop right here immediately. And then we have another structural change. My opponent would be having a 3-2 majority, and I would have a connected pass pawn in the center. I would have a 2-1 majority. So I have a time edge here. And what else? A time edge, and what else? Okay, that is an interesting one right there. How about I force something here? With this move, I'm saying, you know what? Declare your intentions. Show me your hand soon. I want you to capture me. And if the C file opens up, I could be assured of, let's say, well, I don't know about assured, but I'm maybe getting ready to pinpoint the queen. So now that has locked up. I think my bishop is good here. So I'm going to do that. And now this is closed, so immediately my attention is turning over on the king side. Over on the king side is where I'm heading here. And I think that queen here is a good start. Knight to h2 is probably going to be a move. Bishop to h6. I want to be cautious. Okay, the knight's getting ready to go back to g. Let me play here. This knight's wasn't doing anything great, was it? And maybe I could get rid of the light square bishops. I don't know if I want. I don't know what to do here. I'm not quite sure what to do. Huh. This guy is stupid right here on g3. Stupid knight. Stupid knight. What could I do better with that knight? Where could I get him? Where would he like to be? Where's the dream square for the knight? And once I've identified that, how can I get there? I'm not quite sure. My opponent doesn't have any weaknesses just yet. That's part of my problem. Okay, this bishop could use some work. Did I really want to stare at this pawn for the rest of the game? No. Didn't want to do that. So let's get my bishop over here. Maybe there could be some exchanges on g4. Maybe I could be taking in this direction and then getting my g pawn up, my king up, and my rook over here on the h file. See, with all these files closed, it's like, what do these rooks do? How can we get the rooks doing something? I'm just going to move quick, get a bishop move in there, and force my opponent to get back to thinking while I'm trying to use my opponent's time on them. If queen here, it's a losing move. Bishop g5, the queen's dead. Less than a minute for my opponent. They are usually the one who is ahead on time here. So let's see how they respond to that. Pawn push. Again, they don't have any weaknesses. Okay, so I got something out of that maybe. And now can I get to this square? Might want to get to that square. Okay, I don't have enough coverage. Let's come back here. Come back here, and now we're going to have some exchanges. Or are we? I'm in trouble. My bishop's dead. My bishop is dead. I miscalculated there. Okay, I got to do this. And now look at my light square bishop. What an idiot. What an idiot. Another structural change. This game isn't going to finish. Is it? Okay, good. No, that was my good bishop. What am I doing? Oh, boy. Let's go here. Run, king. I'm just going to give that up. I'm just going to give that guy up. There we go. I wonder if this could be broken down. I wonder if that could be broken down. My opponent does not have enough time. There's no way. I'm just going to sack this. Open it up. Open it up. That's not a good sack, by the way. They dropped the queen. Drop the rook. Their time pressure. I had nothing more than a draw after that. Yeah, nothing more than a draw right there. Good game. Very solid. Right here towards the end. Again, I was probing for weaknesses here, but there weren't any. My opponent just made a single pawn move. I can't rely upon any square really here as a whole. And yeah. I don't know. Good defense by my opponent. I don't know about the decisions to really close things up like this. Right here. I don't know about, yeah, this stuff right here with closing up the position on my opponent's end. Close, close. The attention shifts over here. I think my opponent does have a nice defensive resource. I like the king move a real lot, allowing for this knight to just come back and watch over this h6 square. That was nice. And then the knight coming back. There's always some lateral defense that black could be having. Very good defense. Very, very good. And in fact, f4 got played, and who knows, maybe I'm not even the better side here, actually. Right? Because this pawn push, and then maybe my pieces are getting pushed around. Very nice game. I think it was very tight the whole way through. A lot of points along the way where there could have been, the position could have opened up, it could have been closed, but it entered a closed position on the queen side, and there wasn't really much stuff going on the king side.